Marriage is a sacred bond, and trust forms its foundation. Yet, what happens when betrayal strikes at its core, particularly in the most unthinkable way? Today, we uncover a harrowing case from Kwang'an District, Sichuan Province, China. A case that shocked not only a family, but an entire community. In the pre-dawn hours of August 7, 1990, a quiet morning in Kwang'an District was shattered by a chilling discovery. At 5 a.m., Ma Shukai returned to his family home unannounced, accompanied by a neighbor. As they entered the house, an unsettling silence greeted them. Curious and increasingly concerned, they made their way to the father-in-law's bedroom. There they stumbled upon a sight that defied comprehension. Deng Yin-ngok, Ma Shukai's 23-year-old wife, lying lifeless on the bed alongside her father-in-law, Ma Duat. The room exuded an eerie stillness, but the scene spoke volumes. Deng's body lay motionless, her face bearing an expression of pain and distress. Ma Duat appeared disoriented and defensive, denying any wrongdoing but unable to explain the damning circumstances. As the initial shock subsided, Ma Shukai's cries of anguish filled the air, soon drawing the attention of the neighbor who immediately contacted the local authorities. When the police arrived, they meticulously documented the scene. Deng's body showed no immediate signs of physical violence, but subtle indicators hinted at a deeper, more sinister narrative. The room itself, though modestly arranged, bore traces of recent activity. Disheveled bed linens and scattered clothing provided the first clues to what had transpired. The discovery of a used latex condom on the bedside table added a critical piece to the puzzle. The shock of finding his wife's lifeless body in such a compromising situation with his own father was too much for Ma Shukai to bear. As he struggled to make sense of the betrayal and tragedy, the wheels of investigation began turning. The police investigation quickly turned its focus to the evidence left behind in the room. The bedside table, containing a used latex condom, became a pivotal piece of the puzzle. As officers combed through the scene, they noted disheveled bed linens, scattered clothing, and personal items strewn about, suggesting a recent and hurried encounter. Every detail was documented meticulously, as the circumstances surrounding Deng Yin-ngok's death required careful scrutiny. The autopsy provided grim clarity. Deng's body showed no signs of external trauma, but subtle physical markers pointed to recent sexual activity. More alarmingly, her airways displayed signs of swelling, and her bloodstream contained elevated levels of histamines. These findings strongly indicated an anaphylactic reaction. The cause? A severe allergy to latex. Forensic experts confirmed that the latex condom found in the room was consistent with the one used shortly before her death, linking it directly to the fatal allergic reaction. Additional forensic analysis strengthened the case against Ma Duat. Traces of his DNA were found on both the condom and Deng's body, corroborating his reluctant confession that the two had engaged in a sexual encounter on the night of her death. Ma Duat admitted to using the condom, but claimed he was unaware of Deng's allergy. He denied any intent to harm, insisting her death was an unforeseen tragedy. Yet, the evidence painted a more complex picture. Deng's scattered belongings and the intimate nature of the scene raised questions about the consensuality of their relationship and the true dynamics at play. Neighbors' accounts suggested a longer history of impropriety between Deng and her father-in-law, sparking suspicions that her death might not have been purely accidental. Investigators now faced a dual challenge, determining whether Ma Duat's actions were criminally negligent and unraveling the web of secrecy and betrayal that had led to this devastating outcome. The complexities of Deng and Ma Duat's relationship began to emerge as investigators delved deeper into their lives. Ma Duat claimed that the affair began just 3 months earlier, describing Deng as the instigator. According to his account, Deng's behavior had shifted dramatically after her husband, Ma Shukai, moved to the city for work. She allegedly started wearing more revealing clothing and making flirtatious remarks, which Ma Duat initially dismissed as harmless. Over time, however, her advances became bolder. Ma Duat recounted a pivotal night when Deng entered his bedroom uninvited, wearing nothing but a robe. He described feeling conflicted and guilty, but ultimately gave in to temptation. This initial encounter set the stage for a clandestine relationship that grew increasingly reckless. The two began meeting in secret, not only in Ma Duat's bedroom, but also in more public areas like the family's farmland, where they believed they wouldn't be discovered. Neighbors, however, painted a different picture. Many suspected the affair had been going on for far longer than Ma Duat admitted. Some even speculated that the relationship might have started before the death of Ma Duat's wife, fueling rumors that her passing was not as natural as it seemed. One neighbor recounted seeing the two in close proximity late at night, their interactions far too intimate for a father-in-law and daughter-in-law. These conflicting narratives deepened the mystery. Was Dung a manipulative figure exploiting Ma Duat's vulnerabilities, or was Ma Duat using his authority within the family to control her? Investigators also couldn't ignore the financial dynamic at play. With Ma Shukai sending money home regularly, some wondered if the affair was part of a larger scheme to maintain financial stability while betraying the very person who supported them. As the investigation continued, the tragic irony of their relationship became evident. What began as a forbidden connection driven by desire ended in a fatal act that exposed their secrets to the world. The revelations surrounding Dung's death and her relationship with Ma Duat sent shockwaves through the small farming community. For decades, the Ma family had been regarded as a model of success and integrity. Their wealth and influence had earned them respect, and the family's reputation seemed untouchable. But with the scandal laid bare, the community's perception of the family crumbled almost overnight. Neighbors who once spoke highly of the Mas now expressed outrage and disbelief. Many recalled whispers of impropriety between Dung and Ma Duat, but had dismissed them as baseless gossip. After all, who could believe such allegations against a family held in such high regard? Now, those same whispers gained new weight, with some neighbors accusing Ma Duat and Dung of bringing shame not only upon their family, but also upon the entire community. Speculation also reignited over the mysterious death of Ma Duat's wife, which had occurred just a year prior. While officially ruled as natural causes, some neighbors now suspected foul play. Could the affair between Ma Duat and Dung have begun even earlier, leading to a conspiracy to remove an obstacle in their way? Such suspicions fanned the flames of public outrage, turning the Mas from a respected household into a source of scandalous fascination. The community's reaction extended beyond gossip. Some residents shunned the family entirely, refusing to associate with Ma Shukai or anyone bearing the Ma name. Others openly confronted Ma Duat, demanding answers and accusing him of violating not just moral boundaries, but the trust of an entire village. The scandal became a cautionary tale, a topic of whispered conversations and heated debates at local gatherings. In interviews, a few neighbors expressed sympathy for Ma Shukai, describing him as a victim of unimaginable betrayal. However, even he wasn't spared from judgment, as some questioned how he could have remained oblivious to the affair for so long. The scandal had turned everyone into both a critic and a spectator, each person eager to dissect the fall of the once revered Ma family. Forensic evidence confirmed Ma Duat's involvement with Dung on the night of her death. However, the investigation couldn't definitively link him to her demise beyond the latex allergy. While Ma Duat's testimony portrayed him as a man caught in an immoral relationship, his account raised more questions than it answered. He insisted that Dung had initiated their illicit affair and that her tragic death was an unforeseen consequence of her allergy. Despite this, the burden of guilt weighed heavily on him, as his actions had irrevocably shattered the family. Dung's husband, Ma Shukai, found himself at the center of a personal and public tragedy. Betrayed by both his father and wife, he struggled to reconcile the dual losses in his life. The revelations tore apart the foundation of his family and derailed his future aspirations. Unable to cope with the emotional weight of the situation, he left the village, severing ties with the home he once cherished. The scandal also had a ripple effect on the Ma family's reputation and livelihood. Once respected in their community, they became pariahs. Ma Duat's disgrace cast a long shadow, leaving the family to face social ostracism and financial hardship. The lingering whispers about the timing of Ma Duat's wife's death only added to the cloud of suspicion, further isolating the family. The tale of Deng Yi Nak and Ma Duat is a sobering reminder of how secrets can destroy lives. It's a story of forbidden love, betrayal, and the devastating consequences of human weakness. Beyond the sensational headlines lies a cautionary tale about trust, morality, and the fragility of relationships. As we reflect on this tragedy, let us remember that every choice has repercussions, and the pursuit of forbidden desires often leads to ruin.